This week in Jamaica Now, JUTC in the spotlight again. The Auditor General finds that 6 senior managers are without minimum qualifications. The managing director only has a high school diploma. Then, more than $1 billion spent over 5 years on unapproved staff posts. The company cites inaccuracies and wants the Auditor General's report retracted. Parliamentary committee hears that Market Me got more government contracts than initially reported. COVID backlog now at 3,000. How the government is seeking to respond. U.S. Senator convicted for using state money to fund pricey wedding trip to Jamaica. Why taxi operators are leaving the business. And some UWI students livid as school fees jump by more than $100,000 a year. I'm Damian Mitchell and this is Jamaica Now. The Jamaica Urban Transit Company, the JUTC, is again in the spotlight following a worrying performance report by the Auditor General on the state-owned bus company. The report details that from 2014 to 2019, the JUTC racked up $1.15 billion in unapproved staff. And while the JUTC had been overstaffed, it also paid out more than $728 million above budget for overtime. The Auditor General also found that the JUTC failed to advertise vacant positions. At the same time, at least 6 senior managers were hired, although they did not meet the minimum qualifications. The managing director, for example, only had a high school diploma listed in his file. The security manager only had 6th grade examination qualifications. And the engineering and technical services manager had an acceptance letter to pursue a diploma at the University of Technology. In the meantime, the board of the JUTC wants the Auditor General to retract her report, saying it contains factual inaccuracies and information. The JUTC says, for example, the Auditor General did not capture that it had written to the Finance Ministry to establish more posts. It also claims that overtime had been cut from $25.8 million in March this year to $11.34 million in June. This coincides with the lockdown periods because of the coronavirus when fewer people were traveling. But the Auditor General is standing by her report. She also says the department has no intention of withdrawing it. The Health Minister, Dr. Christopher Tufton, on Thursday dodged questions about the Market Me consultancy firm, now at the center of an investigation by a parliamentary committee.
This press briefing is called COVID Conversations. It has been the case from we have started having it. I am going to respectfully ask that we confine our discussions to COVID and the very important issue that is of so much concern to Jamaicans.
Reporters at the Health Ministry COVID press conference were seeking information on developments following the controversy involving contracts awarded to the firm whose principal reportedly had a personal relationship with the Health Minister. This week, news emerged that agencies of the Health Ministry had also awarded contracts worth $19.4 million to Market Me. The Health Ministry had awarded another $54.8 million in contracts for the Jamaica Moves campaign. In the meantime, the Health Ministry says it cannot find a copy of a critical evaluation document it sent to the National Contracts Commission for its approval of the Market Me Jamaica Moves contract. This comes even as the Health Ministry and Market Me are both claiming ownership of the intellectual property rights of the Jamaica Moves brand. The Health Ministry says it is taking steps to hand over the matter to the Attorney General. Meanwhile, the Health Ministry has missed its July 31 deadline to clear the backlog of 10,000 COVID test samples. According to the Health Ministry, the backlog is now at just over 3,000. And the Director of Services at the National Public Health Laboratory, Dr. Michelle Hamilton, says it should be cleared in another 2 weeks. The Ministry of Health is planning to engage 5 private laboratories to help slash the delays in delivering the results. Tennessee State Senator Katrina Robinson has been charged with stealing more than $600,000 or 87 million Jamaican dollars in federal funds. The money was received by the healthcare company she directed. According to the FBI, the senator used the money to pay for her wedding and other personal expenses. The FBI says the U.S. senator used the money to finance a $5,000 trip to Jamaica. She's now facing charges of theft and embezzlement involving government programs and wire fraud. Heavy financial losses worsened by the impact of the coronavirus are forcing taxi operators out of business. According to the Transport Operators Development Sustainable Services, already several of them have turned in their public passenger vehicle licenses. Rudolph Crooks is among them.
I have 5 cars and I sold them in March.
Because of COVID?
Yeah, because of COVID and because of where the sector going. You see, the sector is all about corruption. No, listen, you laugh. It's about corruption, you know what I mean? You survive in this sector because you get corrupted too. This corruption drives the sector, so the policeman is either left or right. The extortion is either right or funeral. You understand? Everybody had a certain set.
The Transport Operators Development Sustainable Services wants a 60% reduction in the gas tax or the granting of a fare increase which has eluded transport operators for more than 7 years.
If the government give us a $50 extra, not a percentage, $50 extra on the fare, we will, provide the highest possible class of transportation right now, as we speak. Just give us $50. That's all we need.
Hundreds of students at the University of the West Indies, UWI Mona, are livid after learning that they will have to pay as much as $128,000 extra for tuition this upcoming academic year. This is despite an earlier pledge that fees would be frozen amid the coronavirus pandemic. While tuition fees remain at the same as last year, the amount required for students in some faculties will be higher because costs are quoted in US dollars. Students in the faculties of medical sciences, law, and engineering will be primarily affected. The Jamaican dollar closed on Wednesday at $147.71 against the greenback, but the UWI pegs its tuition rates at 141 Jamaican dollars. Last academic year, the university assessed its rate at 138 Jamaican dollars to $1 US. And that's it for this edition of Jamaica Now, your weekly review of the big news stories. Send us your comments at onlinefeedback@gleanerjm.com. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Jamaica Gleaner and on Facebook at Gleaner Jamaica. Like this video on our YouTube channel, turn on your notifications and subscribe today. I'm Damian Mitchell, and before we go, a banter in the Parliament with Southwest St. Catherine MP Everard Warmington and St. Anne South East MP Lisa Hanna.
You might not work in, Mr.
Not work. Turn on your mic. The language used under the domestic exchange. The language used by the member of South East St. Anne is totally unparliamentary. Don't tell me what you just said a while ago. Again, you come back with it. Riffraff is down there. But that member should know better than that. I expect, no, you're, I'm on my feet. No, I'm on my feet upon the border.
I really love the MP.
Take your seat on my feet. Speaker, I'm on my feet. I'm on my feet.
And if the minister,
I'm on my feet.
And what?
You did not ask me to yield.
Yield.
No, I shouldn't tell what to do. Take your seat. Take your seat.
Yield to a woman.
The member.
Yield to a woman.
I will, but I'm saying the language you use is non-parliamentary. You know that.
Say it again.
You don't want me to say it.
Go on,
stop it.
Do it, man.
You know better than that.
All right.
I expect that from you.